For the last decade and more, we've been working on the eco-efficiency of our factories. 2 or 3 years ago, we did an environmental footprinting of our product portfolio, and it really opened our eyes. We realised that the impacts of our products go way beyond our own factory gates. In fact, when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions or water, the impacts are less than 5% from factories, and it's actually upstream in the way that we source our raw materials and downstream in the way that we require our consumers to cook, clean and wash with our products that most of the emissions and water use are taking place. And that was a real eureka moment for us, because we realised it's no longer sufficient to reduce the footprint of our own factories, but that we needed to work across the value chain. And if you're working across the value chain, you need to work with all players in the system. The reason Unilever is interested in the big shift was because we believe that we need to create a business which is fit for the future, and a future which is very different from today. And as part of that, we can't just look at our own shop. We need to look more widely at the big challenges that are facing businesses like ours and society, such as climate change, water scarcity, and the worsening conditions associated with urbanisation. So for us at Unilever, it's really important that we think about how we can transform markets or sectors, not only our own business. And one of the ways in which we've been doing that is through the hygiene education work that we've been doing with our Lifebuoy soap, where we started with a programme which wasn't cost effective. It cost €2 per contact. And we realised that if we tried to do all this by ourselves, we couldn't succeed in reaching 1 billion people, so a large proportion of the world's population in Asia, Africa and Latin America, with that hygiene hand-washing education. We needed to radically reduce the cost. And that was a transformative moment for us, where we took a step forward into having a series of conversations with different partners. So in Indonesia with the health ministry, at a global level with our foundation partners, UNICEF and so on. And that has led to a 10 times factor cut in the cost of that programme. Forum for the Future is going to be really valuable to us as we look at how we engage with a more transformative agenda. The reason for that is that Forum for the Future are really thinking about what could be the model that can be repeated time and time again for changing systems. And they are also drawing in good practice from all sorts of different organisations and businesses. Firstly, because they're really good at looking at future scenarios. And then secondly, because they have a network of partners around the world, all of whom are experimenting in this area. And so they can bring us together to learn from each other. I'm passionate about system innovation because I think it's clear to all of us that the challenges that society faces are far too complex for one organisation, business or government to deal with alone. The only way that we'll succeed in creating a better world for all of us is if we work together. And system innovation, to me, is a more organised and mindful way to go about making that greater change.